Hello, today I'm going to try solving cryptic 383 by Heisenberg in the Hindustan Times. Start with the first across clue. In this way, America eradicated poverty essentially. In this way, poverty essentially is E, and eradicated is I, or America eradicated okay. Right, we'll come back to it. Years spent by troubled CFO entirely thinking. So year is Y and it is spent by troubled CFO. So I'm thinking that troubled could be an anagram indicator, and CFO entirely has got 4 plus 4, 8 plus 3, 11 letters, and if you remove Y it has exactly 10, which is what we need, and we need an answer that means thinking. So it's an anagram of CFO entire because the Y is removed to mean thinking, and yeah, that is reflection. Okay, so this seems there's a continuation kind of a clue because there are three dots at this, and the next clue starts with three dots, although they are not linked in any fashion really. About tax break, so about is RE and tax is cess, so about tax break could be recess. And look at two down, bows in archery, recurve, compound, simple primarily. This is a straightforward acrostic. It is ARCS, or arcs, which means bars. And yeah, okay, let's look at six down. Scavenger that discovered money hidden inside, so that again is a hidden clue, I think, and you have to see scavenger could be the definition, and money hidden inside could be, I have a feeling it's hyena, but it's not that. Discovered money. I have a feeling it's hyena, but I can't really annotate it, so we'll have to come back to that. See one down. Star key for the most part is represented as this. Star key for the most part is represented as this. I think this is asterisk. Okay, it's an anagram for, it has star, it has key, and is, and represented as the anagram indicator. Key for the most part is KE, and the whole clue is an andlet, and that is indicated by this exclamation mark at the end, because the star key can be representing the asterisk, or the asterisk is the star key. One creeping outdoors is a rat. I think it's a snake in the grass from the enum. We have to figure out why. Grass also means to rat, and one creeping is a snake in the grass. Not sure if it is exactly annotates otherwise. Okay, 16 down. Bit of corn placed in birdhouse, most within reach. This is nearest, most within reach is nearest. Birdhouse is nest, bit of corn is ear. It's placed inside that to give you nearest, which is most within reach. Okay. 13 down. Introduction of institutionalized criminal, omitting suggestion of domestic tussle curiously. This definitely seems like a long acrostic, but it is not just that. It seems to be a little bit more. So let's just see how many letters we have here. Firstly, there is only introduction, it doesn't say introductions. So it's probably not entirely, unless introduction of course is the definition, which makes sense. So let's take introduction as the definition. Institutionalized criminal could be anagram of institutionalized, which is a very long word, and from that you take out suggestion of domestic, which is D, and tussle, and then you get a word that means, okay, I think that could be possibly it. Insti is 5 letters, plus tuition is 6, 11, plus 4, 15, plus 2, 17. 17 minus 7 is 10. So that's right. So from institutionalized, which is indicated by anagram, is indicated by criminal, you remove suggestion of domestic, which is D, and tussle, and then you get a word that means introduction. I will think it as initiation based on the lettering, but if I'm wrong, we will correct it later on. Okay, I like it when the anagram generally falls in place in my head, but then sometimes it's just wrong, and then I have to go back and figure out the letters by writing it down. Secure income for auditors in Asian city. So here it is, auditors is indicating that it's a homophone, and I would think this is Thai pay, which sounds like Thai is like secure, pay is like income, and Thai pay sounds like an Asian city. Priest, so initiations I seems to work out. Priest key to get, priest key, what does that even mean? I'm not sure. Priest key to get invested in Bible, line or verse. Okay, priest is usually P. Get invested in Bible, line or verse. Key could be a number of things. It could be any letters from A to H, or it could be any one of the keyboard keys like Alt or Escape, which is 3 letters, are generally things people like. Now, priest could be the definition, which means this would nicely become pastor, but we need to figure out still why, because verse could take it towards psalm or something like that, and we still need to figure out why key and why Bible and all of that. So let's wait for that. Fan base impedes talent somewhat. Now, fan base impedes is telling you some kind of a containment. The definition, if it is fan, I was going with devotee or admirer, but so base impedes talent somewhat. So word for base can hold a word for talent, which is somewhat could mean last letter is removed, and the definition could be fan. We'll come back to that. Cooking oyster, Pete provides a formula. So I think that's a anagram of stereotype. Seems like that. The number of letters works out, and all the letters seem to be here. Yeah. So let's see this. Amazingly, admirer inviting around, I ring up. Oh, amazingly could be fascinatingly. Fan is there in this. Fan is here. Inviting around, I. No, doesn't work. Fascinatingly won't work, though I'm tempted that fan is here somewhere for admirer. I ring up is telling you something like, yeah, it could be fantastically, right? Fantastically. Because I ring is I call, and admirer is fan, and inviting is tasty, is around, so it's going around. I call. So, okay. Fantastically is the answer. Periodically insist. Argon, for example, brought about new gas. Periodically insist. Argon, for example. Okay. This is a regular letter selection from here. The second letters, so insist is N, then I, then T, then R, O, and then G, E, and N. For example, is EG, brought about becomes GE, new is N. So letter selection up till nitro, and then GE is a letter reversal, and new is an abbreviation. So another gas is basically, the gas is nitrogen. Cricketing pair, training in a brush every now and then. I have no idea of cricketing, except that my husband watches it a lot, and I watch it sometimes, especially if Dhoni plays. But let's leave that for now. A selection of tiniest rodents took large steps. Took large steps tells me strode, as in a stride is a long step, and in the past it could be large, and then you can see that a selection, so that is a hidden indicator. A selection of tiniest rodents tells you strode, which is hiding, to mean took large steps. Community decision. This could be a double definition kind of clue. We need something that means like a settlement is community, and a decision is also a settlement, which makes sense. A number of Tolkien's timeless characters consuming second piece of lembas. Second piece of lembas is E. A number of is basically 11 is the number, and Tolkien's timeless characters are, Ents are Tolkien's characters. So I'm assuming that timeless is removing T. So I think it has to be right. Cricketing pair will come there. Rowdy teens endlessly swear about appeal. Rowdy teens is telling you there's an anagram. Endlessly swear is about, so curse could be endlessly swear. Appeal is cuteness, I think. Cuteness works. Cuss. Curse is here cuss, because that's also swear. And cuss is endless, so the last letter is removed. And teens is anagrammed and goes inside it. That's what's indicated by the about, and appeal is cuteness. Let's in turn lose without limits, so everyone can see what gets talent going. Let's in turn lose without limits. In turn is lose without limits, telling you it's only NTER. And let's could be either let's an NTER anagram so everyone can see what gets talent going. I somehow feel that I'm not completely getting all parts of it. Fan base is pedestal, right? So let's see how this works. Impedes, oh, somewhat is an hidden word indicator and impedes talent support. That's nicely hidden there. Right. Priest, key to get invested in Bible, line or verse. Key to get invested in Bible, not chapter or verse, but line or verse. Okay. I think it might be something I'm missing there anyway. Wanted knight to forsake title. A word for title from which knight, which is N, is removed to get wanted, or the other way, a word for wanted from which N is removed to get title. Title could be Lien, but I don't know if it's making sense there. Let's see what this could be. Cruel leader of the French, leading from the back. Leader of the French, leading from the back. It's very clever. Can't figure out head or tail of this right now. From the back is telling me that there is a reversal. The French is usually LE or LA. Cruel leader of the French, leading from the back, it says. Or leading from the back can also be G, which is the last letter of leading. Leader, cruel leader could be the definition. Of the French could mean the word that means of in French, which could be DE, I think, is off. Leading from the back. So we need something that I can't really think past Hitler, which I don't wish to see in a clue. But let's see. Frown of one eating greens in Sri Lanka. Okay. One eating greens could be a cow and Sri Lanka is a cell. So frown is cow and that seems to be right. United regularly, play around core of fingers and foul. Ho. United regularly. So the surface is telling you about united, which could be Man United, for example. They regularly play around core of wingers and foul. Core of wingers is G. United regularly, play around core of wingers and foul. No idea. Let's in turn lose without limits so everyone can see what gets talent going. In turn, I wonder if it has something to do with L. Let's try to fill across. Church built with 33.33% basalt and sand mostly. This tells me it is basilica. So 33.33% of basalt is 2 of 6 letters, and sand mostly is silica. So that's church is basilica. Scavenger that discovered money hidden inside. I'm just going to go with hyena and then figure it out. Okay, got it. That discovered is HA, money is yen, and it's hidden inside, and that's fine. In this way, America eradicated poverty essentially. It has to be thus, in this way. Y is US is America. Or in this way, thus America eradicated remove S and poverty essentially. It's only E. Not sure of this annotation, so maybe wrong. We'll have to come back. We have like 3 clues that are like giving us trouble. We need to figure this out. United regularly play around core wingers and foul. United. Let's see why regularly. Regularly could mean UINE or NTD, or regularly play is LY around core of fingers. United could be U. Foul is ugly. Okay, got it. So united is U. Regularly plays LY. Around core of fingers is G. Around G. And foul is ugly. Okay. Let's in turn lose without limits so everyone can see what gets talent going. Everyone can see is something that's out, I think. And let's in turn lose without limits. The answer should be what gets talent going. Everyone can see what gets talent going. Wanted knight to forsake title. That could be Lien if I can figure out why. Wanted knight to forsake title. Okay, cruel leader of the French, leading from the back. Cruel leader of the French. We said off the French could be DE. And And everyone can see can also be you instead of out. So it can be you and it can be so and it can be NTERET. That comes to rents out. It gets talent going. We get RENTSO. U. Somehow doesn't feel correct. So that can only be the answer. But let's is rents out. Okay, that's the definition. Rents out. And intern lose without limits is NTER anagram, that is rent. Then you have so, then you have O. Oh, what gets talent going for T? Phew, got that. Cruel leader must be despot, therefore. Cruel leader of the French is D. Leading from the back, so tops, okay, fine. And wanted king to forsake title is deed. Wanted okay, oh, we still have one word. Cricketing pair trading in a brush every now and then. Cricketing pair openers, I guess. Openers or cricketing pair trading in a brush every now and then. Priest key to get invested in Bible. Line for verse. Line or verse. Priest is key to get invested in Bible. Line or verse. This could be priest is O. To get key could be E. Invested in, I think this is poetry because it matches the definition. Okay, so it is poetry. We need to just annotate a couple of things, but that was a nice workout. Thank you, Heisenberg, and thank you, Hindustan Times. Enjoyed the puzzle.